Hey, brand new Grimdark. I know I told some of you that our next episode would be on painting Space Marine Scouts, but because it's taking so long, I thought I'd do a fun little quick one. What we're going to make today is we're going to make a little fence. Just a second, I forgot. There we go. So I picked up this wooden dowel at the hardware store. It costs like 80 cents. I couldn't tell you what size it is, but real small, you know. Real thin, I should say. So what we're going to do is I have a little loose saw blade. We're going to cut this into some appropriately sized pieces. Maybe a little more than an inch tall. Just cut a little groove in, snap it off. We don't want these to be evenly heightened, of even height either. You want the fence to look nice and rough. Pop. Guess we don't really need the saw after all. Anyway, so we're going to snap off maybe a dozen of these, and then we'll move on to our next piece. Alright, so the next thing for us to do is clean these up a little bit. I got more of these broken off. They've got kind of rough edges, little splintery bits. We're just going to cut off all the little thin splintery bits. We do want the edges to be rough, so you don't want to cut them off completely so they have smooth ends. At least I don't want to. And I guess if you're going for that look, that's fine. There you go. So we're just going to clean all these up, and we'll be back again for the next step. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is carving off a piece of ground for it to be mounted on. I'm going to use a chunk from this piece of foam. I've been experimenting with melting shapes into it. You can see my Cancer Runes video. Anyway, what we're going to do is carve off just a piece off the top like this. And we're going to shave it down to the right shape we need to mount these little sticks in to make a little fence. And you know, shave it down and sand it and all that, just like we did in the foxhole video. So we'll be back in a sec with the product of that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, this is actually sort of a reshot of something I filmed a minute ago, because I have poor situational awareness and discovered afterwards that nothing I did came out on the video, because it was down here where you can't see my fingers. So we have here is we have a little scrap of wood here that I've whittled to a point, and what I'm going to do is punch holes in the foam here, like so that I might mount the fence posts in there later, because not all the fence posts are very pointed. Some of them are a little flat, so I thought I'd use this sharpened one to put all the points in like that. This is not actually our finished product. This is just something I'm using to demonstrate. And then what we'll be doing is taking the glue, put a little drop of Elmer's glue in each, and put the posts in. And then it'll be ready to dry. Alright, so a minor concern I have with this building, because this piece of terrain, is because it's all made out of this really light, these light dowels and the styrofoam. It's super light and tips over really easy. Especially since the dowels weigh more than the foam and the dowels are on top, it makes it kind of top heavy. So I'm going to do a little trick I do with some of my plastic Warhammer miniatures, where I actually glue a nickel on the underside of the stand. Now, naturally, this doesn't have a stand, and nickels are a little big, so what we've done is we've defaced United States currency and clipped some pennies, because pennies even were actually a little too wide, so I clipped off the edge of them here, and we're probably going to epoxy these on the bottom here, so it has an easier time standing upright and doesn't tip over so easily. And that's that. Alright, so I added a piece of wire going around this thing to give it more of a look that it's not just posts growing out of the ground. Excuse me. Anyway, so it looks like they're being sort of held up or held together or whatever. And I found some more bits I'm going to add to it. I have this banner I made a while back. It's got some sort of trophies. It's got a Tyranid claw hanging on the back here. It's got this sort of orc shield with a little orky skull on it. A Tau shoulder pad with the, little Tau symbol on it. And a Space Marine head hanging from some ropes I made out of green stuff. And then the banner here itself is made out of a soda can, and banners, poles are made out of like spears or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm probably gonna mount this on here and paint it up, and I might have to add another penny on the bottom because I feel like if I put this up here, it'll make it really tippy. So we're probably gonna try and add some more weight to the bottom, and when we're back, you'll probably see it in its painted, finished state. Alright, we're at the next step of our fence. I dry brushed the wood parts bee steel brown just so they're not the exact same color as the base color of the sand. I dry brushed the sand with our usual sandy colors. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but I painted the cable or wire around it with tin bits, which is a brown metallic color. I still haven't decided how I'm going to paint the banner, or if I'm going to repaint these runes I have on it, or I don't know. We'll see. But we'll be back with it in a little. Alright, so I finished painting the banner. I hit it with some sort of sandy colors. Dry brushed it a bit. I detailed the orc shield and the Tau shoulder pad and the Space Marine head and the Tyranid claw. It's not the best detail work I've ever done, but you know, it looks alright. It's passable. It's terrain. You know, it's not like this is the HQ selection of my army or something. And so our Palisade Wall is pretty much complete.